Sonnet 116, William Shakespeare. We'll spend more time talking about the man, William Shakespeare, next week when we begin, and then throughout when we get into Macbeth and such. So we'll deal with that down the road. I mean, there's really not much to say now that you haven't heard before. It just might be remembering that you have heard it previously. 116, these are once again about love. The second one is going to be more about a relationship and such. But this first one is more about, just that fact, love, because we saw all three of the types dealt with that. This one is interesting in that I would like for you to try to figure out that problem, that situation, that struggle that happens in the first 12 lines, in the three quatrains, and then how the couplet, resolves it, gives an answer, or gives advice. Okay? And you will see, I think, some of Shakespeare's wit and such play out here. Listen to the selection.
Sonnet 116 by William Shakespeare. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark, that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved.
That guy got a little excited, I think, in his reading of this particular sonnet. When I read it in my mind, I don't have that same vigor, I guess, about it. But anyways, the main essence that we see is love is not love which alters or bends. Okay, it's an ever-fixed mark. It's something that stays and you can't break it, whether it's over time. They use the line, the compass, the footnote on line 10, maybe even distance or range. Love cannot break. If love exists between two people, it won't suffer throughout these, it's an ever-fixed mark. It doesn't move. Line 11, love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom, the end of the world. Love will not break. Death can't take it away. It will survive and keep going. So he's combating the notion that love is breakable, that love is, not immortal and all of these things. So that's the problem. That's the situation. Now his advice at the end, this is him just putting his reputation online. He goes, if this be error, if I'm wrong, if this be error and you can prove it to me, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. So if you can prove me wrong, then I, William Shakespeare, I've never written a true word in my life. I'm nobody. He's putting his reputation out there. No man has ever truly been in love. If you can prove me wrong, then man truly has never been in love before. Okay? So it's kind of a quick one, a brief one, not too much analysis, breaking in there. How love's never shaken, even with a tempest, even with the big storm. It's like the star to every wandering bark. Astral navigation. Before they had GPS and stuff, you follow that star. You know where you're going based on the stars, and that's what love is. It's the thing that guides people throughout their life. And so, a big proponent of love and a particular love poem. Now, this next one, Sonnet 130. Ladies, would you like this particular sonnet to be written about you? Think about that. And then the rest of us, we can look at it and, is this a love poem? Is he truly in love with the individual that this is written about? Kind of ask yourself those questions. Listen to the selection.
Sonnet 130 by William Shakespeare. My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hair be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses damasked red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. And yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare.
Ladies, is he in love with this individual? Does he think very much of this person? Usually women are like, oh, what a jerk. He's saying all those things about me. That's ridiculous. But is he really saying bad things? Because remember, the first 12 lines are the situation, the problem, the story, whatever. But the last 2 lines are of, would you grab that please? The last 2 lines are the essence of his particular piece. He goes, and yet by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare.
It wasn't down there.
Weird. Okay, thank you. And so what he's saying is that all of these other people who do their writing, all these other people who make these same comparisons, that my woman is a goddess, da-da-da, he's realistic. They're not a goddess. Okay? They're false comparing. But my woman, you know, she walks on the ground. Okay? But then I think a lot of it was talking about the word reeking, her breath. You know, people were like, oh, well, this isn't a very good love poem. But, you know, my mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips are. Because some people say, oh, her lips are coral. Her eyes are like, you know, are the sun. I'm like, they're not the sun. He's being honest and legit. He's not saying her eyes aren't beautiful. He's just saying her eyes are not the sun. I've seen coral redder than what her lips are. He's not saying her lips aren't red. He's not saying her skin is not white. But he goes, if snow is white, if snow be white, why then her breasts are done. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses damasked red and white, but no such roses have I seen in her cheeks. I've seen what roses, the color of roses. And I've seen her cheek. Her cheeks aren't the color of that. Again, it's not that she's ugly. It's just he's saying that color is not there. Her cheeks are red and flushed and beautiful, but they're not that particular color. And he's going to compare them as such. He's not going to false compare them, is what he's saying here. And in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. Okay? Not saying that her breath, you know, that her breath stinks. Okay? Is that us?
No.
No, okay. It's not that her breath stinks, but I've smelled perfume that smells better than her breath. I think everybody could probably agree with that. You know, I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I know music is more pleasant to listen to than hearing her talk. He's not saying that she doesn't have a great voice or that I don't like to talk to her. I love to hear her speak, but music is better. And so his point is all of these other sonnets, and we saw some of them, okay, that people love their woman in some regard and compare her to something, it's false comparisons. And so he kind of goes about it in a little tongue-in-cheek way by saying, you know, this woman is all of these things, but I'm not going to compare her to all of the other false comparisons. So that's William Shakespeare's 2 sonnets.